it seems like over the last week, it's like Jalen Brunson not being a part of the Mavs, or more specifically, Jalen Brunson going to the Knicks has become more and more viable. And it seems at this point, I've done a total 180. This time last week, I was probably like 90-10. He's staying with the Mavs. And then the Knicks do all these different things that they're doing on draft night, so much so that they have to come out and apologize. Leon Rose, who's the guy who's kind of running things there in New York now, and he has the family ties to Jalen Brunson. We know Jalen Brunson's dad is on staff now as an assistant coach there in New York, but Leon Rose had to come out and basically apologize to Knicks fans and explain to them what it was they were doing on draft night, which is, hey, we're clearing everything. We're clearing assets. We're trading for draft picks for later down the road. We're giving up our current assets, trying to just open up as much money now to bring in Jalen Brunson. And everybody knows it's for Jalen Brunson. And to me, that is really, really funny. Wow, how far you have fallen, New York and the Knicks, the mecca of basketball, where it's like, hey, usually you're gearing up for a run at Carmelo, LeBron, Wade, Bosh, Kevin Durant. This isn't for Kyrie. Yeah. This isn't for Bradley Beal. You're not trying to work out some big thing for a huge name superstar. No, it's for Jalen Brunson, which is pretty dang funny. But now it's like, okay, this is a real thing. And I know the Knicks are incompetent, and it will not shock me. It might slightly surprise me. It will not shock me or anybody if they completely fall on their face here, because they're being very loud about it. They're being very open about it. Hey, we're doing all this, and it is for Jalen Brunson. Everybody knows it's for Jalen Brunson. His dad's on staff, Leon Rose, the family ties. He's from this area, mecca of basketball. But if they drop the ball on not being able to get Jalen Brunson here, and they have to pivot, and it's not pivoting to Kyrie or anything there, it's like, oh my gosh, they are going to look so foolish and so stupid. But they are rolling out the red carpet for our guy Jalen.
Oh, they are.
That is what
East
they are
Coast
doing.
Kid, Philadelphia guy. I mean, look, I'm never going to be upset with a guy to go get his money. And the way that the Knicks, to your point,
but it's not even go get his money, because he can
go be the guy.
Go be the guy,
right?
Yeah, because he would get more money here in Dallas.
And Jalen Brunson certainly. Well, that's true. But to your point, he technically could get more money here in Dallas. But I wonder if the Mavs are really willing to go up to as high as the number as the Knicks are. Because I do think, and you and I...
And it looks like the Knicks are going 4 years, $100 million.
Like the Knicks are talking...
So it's 25 a year.
Right.
The Mavs could
Crazy numbers.
Mavs could do 5 years, $125 million.
Sure.
So it's the same yearly. It's just, hey, because you're re-signing with the team that drafted you, you can have an extra year of that. So you're basically, if you're Jalen Brunson, you're saying, I'm turning down an extra year and an extra $25 million to go to New York.
And the caveat is, when I'm playing with Luka, I definitely have to alter my game versus I can go to New York. I can be at the main stage at MSG, and I can be the guy. And you saw how he was able to flourish in those 2 games without Luka. Maybe it was 3 games against Utah, and he was putting up 30 to 40 points a game. And I don't know that that's sustainable throughout an 82-game season, but we'll see. I mean, Jalen Brunson, I can understand the enticement factor there. Now, Brad Townsend of the Dallas Morning News just had an article out. The Mavs can't afford to repeat the mistakes leading to Steve Nash and at that departure with Jalen Brunson. My first initial reaction is I just don't even think that Jalen Brunson is a comparable player to Steve Nash. Like, I don't know that Jalen Brunson is an all-star. And I know that there are some within the Mavericks organization. They like Jalen Brunson. Don't get me wrong. I think JB is a really good player. But I wonder if there's a limit. Like, I think we just saw the peak of Jalen Brunson. I just think we saw how the best basketball that he can play. He's not an elite defender. He's not an elite passer. He definitely can go get you a bucket when needed. I don't know that he is an elite three-point shooter. I mean, there's
37%.
There's certain.
He's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. I mean, there's certain
solid.
There's certain flaws within his game. There's no question about it. So when you're talking about how high this price range is getting, are these one of those where you're going to regret the cost overall? But for the Mavericks, I mean, I just don't know that they can afford to lose out on the asset overall, because that's what you're talking about, right? You lose Jalen Brunson, you let him just walk out of the building for free, you got nothing to show for it. If there's a way you can maintain a sign and trade, if it gets that risky, you can get assets back from the Knicks, whether it's a Julius Randle, for instance, or some of these other things that we've talked about. Yay, big win. But if it's nothing, then you're sitting here and it's like, well what are we doing? So that's the scary factor of this all.
Yeah, that's why the worst case, I think, is Jalen just leaves you and you don't get much in return for him. The Mavericks have to be getting ahead of this, knowing it's a real possibility he's not going to be here. You've got to be talking with the Knicks about how you can work something out. And because right now, as it stands today, the Knicks cannot just sign Jalen Brunson because they don't have the cap space for it. I think they're still probably $6 or maybe $7 million away or something from being able to just offer him straight up, hey, I don't have to do anything with the Mavericks. I don't have to do anything else. All I got to do is just sign you, Jalen, because we've cleared out enough space. But the Mavs could just be the dance partner with them because the Knicks are going to have to clear out a little bit more money. So why can't the Mavs be the team that say, okay, Jalen, if you're going to leave, then all right, but let's do something here where we can get something in return. Is there some type of draft pick? Is there some type of player? Can we get a top-end? Can we get anybody, even if it's not a Julius Randle?
Sure.
Can we get something?
Maybe the Knicks don't want to part with him.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of money stuff that's in play here. You can't get somebody, like you're only going to be able to get back in return a certain amount of millions of dollars, so it's not going to be more than likely a Julius Randle type player, I would think.
The Knicks still have to clear another $6 to $9 million.
Okay, something like that. So the Knicks have to do some more work here. Why not be the team that they're doing the work with to open up? They get to open up what they need to get Jalen, and then you get to have something in return. Because the worst thing is the Knicks clear out money and they don't do it with the Mavericks, and so they just say, "Hey, we don't have to do anything with the Mavericks. We can just sign you, Jalen." And that would be the worst thing because then the Mavs get nothing in return. It's not like it opens up a bunch of cap space for the Mavericks because Jalen Brunson is leaving. So that's the big scare there.